In a new interview, the president setting his sights on the oil in Iran, saying, "My favorite thing is to take the oil in Iran, but some stupid people back in the U.S. say, why are you doing that? But they're stupid people." Trump noting that seizing Iran's oil would likely involve seizing Karg Island, which handles nearly all of Iran's oil exports. But that would require U.S. troops on the ground.
I would venture to say that the president of the United States, who got goaded into fighting a war that even George W. Bush wasn't stupid enough to fight, makes him the stupid one, but I digress. Now look, what you heard from Trump is precisely why the president has amassed thousands of additional American soldiers in preparation for what I believe is going to be a ground invasion. Now, there are denials that we're gonna invade Iran, but I wouldn't believe those denials. Everything that has hinted toward war has led to war with this administration. The military assets that Trump and his administration decided to build up off the coast of Venezuela, what did you think that was for? It was obviously to carry out the operation that he carried out. Now, in that case, it was pretty quick, and we haven't suffered any consequences of literally kidnapping the leader of a sovereign country yet. But Iran is very different. It's a country of 92 million people. Iran has been preparing for the war we're currently involved in for many decades. And here we are finding ourselves in a disastrous stalemate situation where all you see from Trump so far is escalation. So are we gonna put boots on the ground? It sure looks like it. Now, here's what we know so far about this troop buildup. So
which they have put boots on the ground. This is a video from a week ago, but she says a few things that I wanted to point out through the spirit. I'm gonna play the video. Just want to do the intro real quick. All praise, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah HaKodash, and double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, let's get right back to it.
Announced that the USS Tripoli with 3,500 additional service members and Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit have been sent over to that region. Another 1,500 soldiers from the Army's 82nd Airborne are also preparing to deploy. On top of that, there were 4,500 troops aboard the USS Gerald Ford. However, there's a big update with that ship. Some mysterious mishaps had taken place on that ship, apparently. And so they withdrew on March 23rd due to these so-called mishaps. Now, I say so-called mishaps because the way that US media reports on it, there was a random fire on the USS Gerald Ford. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. No, our soldiers are being attacked, obviously, because we have started a war with Iran that clearly we are ill prepared for. And then on top of that, there are about 50,000 American service members based in the Middle East. That's roughly 10,000 more than usual, according to the New York Times. Okay, so you get a sense of the buildup that the Trump administration has carried out. But you should keep these numbers in mind as we see the administration continuously escalate this war with Iran. Because if you can remember, we didn't win the war in Iraq, that illegal preemptive war that we engaged in 2003, or at least it's called a preemptive war, right? They didn't have weapons of mass destruction, we relied into it. That country did not have the military capability that Iran has. That country also didn't have the number of soldiers or the sheer population that Iran has. Iran is a population of 92 million people. Clearly, they're a lot more clever and a lot more sly. They have, thought this through and have decided to fight what's being referred to as an asymmetrical war, because while the US is using its military might, Iran is using economic strategic actions in order to bring a lot of pain, not just to the United States and Israel, to be fair, and also the GCC, the Gulf countries, but to the globe.
Right, because we all know that 20% of the world's oil goes basically through the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran controls. So Iran is basically, which we knew this from the start when this war first started, all right? Iran is controlling this thing from a economical standpoint, from a society standpoint, okay? That's how they're winning the war right now. And Trump is basically, he sent troops over there to pretty much be sacrificed because he know that they ain't gonna make it back, you know. More than likely they ain't coming back. They're pretty much cooked. All right. And she basically was going into how there was around 250,000 troops that got sent to Afghanistan, right? And she was basically saying they was getting jacked up then, but you only send 50,000 over to Iran, all right, which has a far stronger, more military, okay? And their terrain is harder to fight. You know, their land is surrounded with mountains, and they know that land better than anybody. So it's not an easy fight for troops on the ground, man. But Trump is so lifted up with pride, all right, that he's going to send them guys for a sacrifice, man. Okay? Let's continue on.
We are entering a very serious oil crisis because of this war. And it's because Iran has a lot more leverage than I believe the Trump administration was willing to admit going into this. So all signs do point to Trump risking the lives of our soldiers in order to take Karg Island, right? So Karg Island is very important to the Iranians. Now, why do I say that? Well, around 90% of Iran's crude exports pass through it before tankers then travel through the Strait of Hormuz. The island is also said to have a loading capacity of roughly 7 million barrels per day.
I placed my hand into a pond of snakes. Their bodies shifted beneath the water as they...
Now, another thing I want to just kind of remind you all about when you're comparing Iran to Iraq is that we sent hundreds of thousands of soldiers to Iraq.
This is the point that I was just making that she's gonna say.
In the case of what we're doing in Iran, if we do put boots on the ground, right now we have 50,000 soldiers in that region ready to go. How are you gonna win a war with 50,000 soldiers when we couldn't even win a war with 250,000 soldiers against a much weaker country in Iraq in 2003?
And Trump is basically, the Lord is putting on the spirit on him to be stout and to, be stubborn. Like he was just on damn X, basically cursing, man. Told them that you better open up the fucking Strait of Hormuz, all right? And then today he said what? He said an entire nation of people, roughly paraphrasing. He said an entire nation of people, said that something to that effect, is gonna die, So he's basically threatening. His deadline is 8 o'clock tonight. He's basically threatening to basically start bombing Iran, which I'm interested to see what he's gonna do. Personally, I think he is gonna do something, but now that he said that, if he doesn't do it, he's gonna look like a pussy, man. So he's gonna have to stand on his word in some form or fashion. But he's underestimating the Iranians because, like the scriptures say, let the weak say I'm strong, man. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, Joel, the 3rd chapter. All right? So, right now the U.S. ain't looking too good, man.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they know something I don't know. Maybe they're geniuses, and everything that we're seeing play out, which has been pretty disastrous, is all...
And I'm pretty much just commenting on this video, but she's saying a lot of good things, though.
Figment of our imaginations, who knows? But if the plan is to use tens of thousands of soldiers for that kind of operation, to take over Karg Island, Trump is, again, in my opinion, and the opinion of actual retired military generals and colonels who I've been turning to for their expert analysis on this, Trump would be sending our service members into a death trap. Okay, so the US again invaded.
See, brothers heard that? And that's why Apostle Tahar said he said this like damn near a month ago. He said the troops ain't coming home. All right? They ain't more. Hey man, they're being sent for a sacrifice, man. This is the modern day land of the Chaldeans. All right, which they was known for their witchcraft and wickedness. And that's so sacrificing people is nothing, man. He's sending these men and women over there for it to be a sacrifice, like the expert ex-military guys, a death trap, man. They said George Bush didn't even have the courage to start this war, but Nero does. Nero gonna do what it do, man.
Iraq in 2003 with 200.
And that's because we are in the time of the end, man.
50,000 soldiers. In this case, we don't even have 250,000 soldiers in that region. Iran is much more challenging than Iraq, and we lost that war. Iran is the size of the continental United States. So we're not talking about some small country that's easily taken over or dominated. Plus, Iran's military capability is obviously much more superior than Iraq's, which, by the way, Iraq has also joined this war. This has become a regional war. Iraq is on Iran's side. So congratulations, America. 13 US troops have already been killed as a result of this war against Iran, and at least 300 have been wounded. And a recent AP NORC poll found that 62% of respondents, meaning American voters, strongly oppose the use of ground troops in Iran. Only 12% are in favor. 12%. But Trump's gonna do it anyway because we don't actually live in a democracy. Nonetheless, Trump thinks that US troops invading and taking Karg Island will be easy.
The president saying of Karg Island, "I don't think they have any defense. We could take it very easily." On Air Force One Sunday night, he insisted a deal with Iran could be done soon.
They're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things.
He says Iran has agreed to allow 20 more oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, a move, he says, that shows negotiations are going well.
And just to prove that they're serious, they gave us all these buses.
But Trump is refusing to rule out using ground troops as more US service members move into the region.
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of,
And all this nigga has been doing is lying, man. He's been lying and making it seem like Babylon is up when they're really down. Okay? They're being made. They're being exposed, okay? On the biggest level, they're being exposed. The Lord is exposing these damn devils, man. And they ain't got much left in the tank, okay? They ain't got much left.
Power, okay.
Don't forget, Noble Mobile saving you a ton of money.
Hey, the scriptures say a sound of battle is in the land and of a great destruction, man. All right? Now, like we always say, this war is more or less of a economic thing, all right? But at the end of the day, you know, there's still being bombs being dropped, rockets being shot. You know, there's things that's happening, man. Okay. Jeremiah 50:2, it says, "Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard, published and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Mordrak is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north country shall come up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein, and they shall depart, both man and beast." And I want to skip to Salakia. And I didn't really go into, not really going to go into a lot in this video. But I just wanted to comment on what she was saying. All right, verse 14. "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord." And we was going to at Camp how, you know, we know that those arrows represent the missiles, right?
Fragrance.com has over. I ordered 2 Boston Ferns online, and for under $20,
man.
This is what I got. They are big and beautiful.
They're serious. They gave us all these buses.
But Trump is refusing to rule out using ground troops.
Your data. So if you're paying more than $50, there's no
equivalent of a sucker punch and attacked Iran. At first, last summer with the 12-day war, and now with the current disaster that we got dragged into. That's the reality. There is no peace negotiation happening right now at all. I know Trump would like to think that's happening.
Hold on 1 second. I wanted to get a key point.
So if you're paying more than $50, there's no reason to not switch. It's crazy.
Because one of the things she said goes into how the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Have to switch because same phone, same number, same contacts, literally nothing changes. TYT.com/switch. TYT.com/switch. All right, we'll be right back.
There are no negotiations happening. Iran has repeatedly said, we are not interested in negotiating a peace deal or a ceasefire because we don't trust the Americans. Trump lied, not just once, but on 2 occasions, making it appear as though the US was engaging with the Iranians in good faith negotiations. And in the middle of those negotiations, he carried out the military equivalent of a sucker punch and attacked Iran. At first, last summer with the 12-day war, and now with the current disaster that we got dragged into.
Because that's what the devil does, man. He'll go behind your, he'll make it, hey, his words were smoother than butter, right? But war was in his heart. That's what the scriptures say. His words were softer than butter, but war was in his heart. That's how you know the scriptures are talking about you damn so-called white people, man. You Edomites. You're trying to negotiate a peace deal, but you go behind your back and try to do some sneaky shit, man. That's what you did to the so-called Native Americans as well, the Gadites.
That's the reality. There is no peace negotiation happening right now at all. I know Trump would like to think that's happening because I think he realizes either deep down or maybe even consciously that he was played for a fool by Israel. And he got dragged into, again, a war that even George W. Bush wasn't stupid enough to engage in.
He got played by Israel and he was dragged into a war that not even George W. Bush would engage in. The least of the flock shall draw them out. The least of the flock shall draw them out. He got played. And meanwhile, while you got ground troops over there, Israel said they ain't sending no ground troops. So you literally fighting their war, man. But even though you're tied, Babylon and Israel is tied together on this side, the least of the flock shall draw them out once again.
But anyway, Iran isn't exactly shaking in fear. And here's how the Iranians have responded to the likelihood that they'll be seeing American soldiers on the ground very soon.
Trump, the president of the United States, has repeatedly threatened Iran with a ground operation and the occupation of certain islands in the Persian Gulf. There is no doubt that the President of the United States has become a pawn of the Prime Minister of the Zionist regime in the war of aggression against Iran.
He said this Iranian leader said he's become a pawn for the Zionist regime. Okay? He basically saying you fighting a war, man. And we still ain't backing down. Let the weak say I'm strong.
By pressure from the terrorist organization Mossad, exploiting his background in the Epstein case. Unfortunately, America's leaders have delegated command of the armed forces to someone whose erratic positions and dangerous, wrong-headed decisions have plunged the US military into a swamp of death. In response to Trump's recent threats of a ground operation or the occupation of any part of Iranian territory, which are nothing more than wishful thinking, we declare that the warriors of Islam have long awaited such actions. They will show that aggression and occupation lead only to the humiliating capture, dismemberment, and disappearance of the aggressors. American commanders and soldiers will become good food for the sharks of the Persian Gulf.
The American soldiers will become good food for the sharks of the Persian Gulf, man. Hey, this is Persia talking right here, man. This is Persia talking.
And it appears that the Israelis know that American soldiers will become good food for the sharks. Now, why do I say that? Because remember, this is a war that is being fought on behalf of Israel. We get nothing out of this war. We only suffer the cost, the burden of fighting this war on behalf of a foreign country that doesn't even respect us, number one. And not only are we—
the least of the flock shall draw them out.
Going to lose, we've already lost soldiers, we've already lost human lives as a result of our involvement in this, right? So the real question is, well, are the Israelis going to send boots on the ground, right? Our special ally? Let's go to graphic 2 here, because it turns out Israel's Channel 12 says that in case of a US ground operation in Iran, Israeli soldiers will not be participating on the ground. Could it be because they understand the very real threat to human lives if a ground invasion actually takes place?
Hey man, so I was quoting Apostle Tahar earlier, the troops ain't coming home, man. So you brothers can check this video out. I just wanted to comment on it. I'm gonna do some more videos later, you know, on this situation. There's so much going on, man, you know, so I'm actually getting into more precepts on the next video, and Lord willing, you will edify. Shalom.